Welcome to season 2, episode 1 of the Adam Davis Show. I'm your host, Adam Davis, and it is an honor to have you here. I've got so much I want to share, and I'm going to be honest with you straight out of the gate. I have struggled bringing this to you. I have one season down where my co-host was AK DeZanti, and I believe we did 4 or 5 episodes together last year. I think it was. We had some fantastic conversations, but sitting here to stare into a camera with no script, with no prompt, with no conversation really has been challenging. Now, I've got 10 books, I've got plenty of content, but what do you really want to hear? That's been the question that I've been dealing with. So I thought that I would just share what's on my mind and some things that are on my heart. And I hope that you'll enjoy the ride for episode 1 of season 2. What does it look like if you started a new job today and in 5 years, your net worth was more than, say, I don't know, 20 times what you started with? And after only 5 years, you got to leave with your full pension. That is the case for some of our members of Congress. And recently, uh, Miss Green from Georgia announced that she would be resigning in January of 26. Now, I've read some articles where when she began, her net worth was around $700,000. And when she leaves in January of 2026, her net worth will be somewhere around $25 million. Now, I'm not saying that this is due to any type of insider trading, but Nancy Pelosi. But what other career do you know of that you know of where you could work for 5 years and leave with a pension and your net worth go up that much? I mean, I know cops in America that work 25 years and have to get another job because what they're going to get out of retirement isn't enough to survive. I mean, there's some that qualify for food stamps, but a member of Congress, an elected official, can increase their net worth more than, and I suck at math, way more than 10 times what they started with, 20 times, 40 times, whatever that number is. It's astronomical. And then leave after 5 years with term limits has been something that many people have advocated for, and I'm a proponent of term limits. I think that if you have a president of the United States who can serve no more than 2 terms, that members of Congress should be held to a similar standard. Now, whether that's 2 terms or 3 terms, I don't know what that is, but 40, 50 years is way too long. It's absolutely way too long. The working class of America, the people who punch a clock, who work there 40, 50, 60 hours a week, one job, 2 jobs, whatever it is, deserve better. We all deserve better. It feels like there's been a class war. It's between the ultra wealthy and the working class. But if we're going to do something different in America, it begins with you and me. But here's another challenge. Millions of illegal people have made it into our country, flooding our borders with nefarious purposes. Now, I'm sure that there are some who are truly here seeking a better way of life. But when I see other people flying foreign flags, assaulting American citizens, assaulting American law enforcement officers and other first responders, it leads me to believe that they're not here seeking a better way of life. Rather, they're here to conquer our way of life so that they can infiltrate our way of life with their theories, their ideologies, their religious beliefs, which brings me to another point. Separation of church and state was never about that. Separation of church and state meant that the government couldn't tell you what to believe. And it's not a law. But too many Christians today have been afraid to stand up and speak their and declare their faith, walk out their faith, talk about their faith, because they're afraid that they're going to be canceled or sued or fired. It's time that the voice of the Christians in America be lifted higher, to be heard, not in a violent, crazy way like you see the left doing in America today, but in a way that declares that Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. And if we don't, our country doesn't stand a chance. We don't have hope for tomorrow if you are a follower of Jesus and you don't let your voice be heard. Elected officials should be held accountable. But if elections aren't valid, if elections aren't held to a standard, if they're not true, if you have people who are not American citizens who are voting and are flooding our systems, then that is a problem that has to be resolved. There has to be election integrity. Voting in America's election systems, in our political cycles, is a privilege, is a right of an American citizen, not someone who comes here from another country. And now you have a police chief in Minnesota saying he serves for the Somalians, not for the American citizens, to protect and serve, to uphold the law, to defend the defenseless. That's what we're supposed to do in law enforcement. But he said he's here for his Somalians. I think it was 80,000 Somalians. Whether you agree or disagree politically, I think if we look at it from a logical perspective, we're not talking about refugees. We're not talking about people that are fleeing a war-torn country seeking asylum. That is not the case. It's millions and millions of men and women who are coming here to infiltrate our way of life with their ideologies, to conquer the American way of life, to take away your jobs and your freedoms and your liberties, to take away your opportunities. I'm thankful personally that we have a president who has taken action to do something about that, but I'm not sure that there's enough people to do anything about it, really to make a dent in it. And even if they do, even if ICE is successful in deporting every single illegal illegal person who's in America today, are our elections going to be full of integrity, or will there continue to be issues where there's dead people voting, where illegals are voting? An illegal person in the United States of America has no say in our way of life until they become an American citizen the right way. We have some dark days ahead of us, and the hope for those dark days ahead of us lies in the way, the truth, and the life that is Jesus. That's our hope. That's our only hope. And it doesn't mean that we stand out on the corner with a gigantic sign and a bullhorn, which if you want to do that, that is your right, as long as you do so peacefully. But it is more effective if we let our voices be known in the town square, if we show up and we hold people who are elected, if we hold them accountable, and primary those people who are in office now who are not doing their job. It's time we get our backbone back. It's time that we stand up and stop being silent and calling it meekness. Because if we continue the way we're going, there will be problems beyond what any of us can imagine. The economy will 100% collapse. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. I mean, recently, after the historic government shutdown, it was revealed that millions and millions of dollars in SNAP benefits were going to illegal individuals on American soil taking American benefits entitled for certain American citizens. What can be done to fix it? I'm grateful that some progress is being made, but it feels like that we're trying to get water off of a sinking Titanic with a 5-gallon bucket. And then you find out that there's people on social media platforms advocating for various political polarization, and they're pretending to be American citizens, but they're in foreign countries. So you have foreign interference, not just in elections, not just in our politics, but in our social media, which shapes the way millions of people think, their perspectives, their attitudes towards each other. Listen, if you are a human being, I love you. But if you're on American soil and you're here illegally, you need to do it the right way. I know people personally who paid the price to come here the right way. And I think that every single person who wants to come here and do so the right way, and they're a law abiding individual, then we should welcome them as long as they do it the right way. But the current state of affairs is a drain on our economy, it's a drain on our resources, and millions of these individuals are threats to public safety, and something has to be done. And we're not talking about this from a place of emotion. This is fact. It's fact. While you fight tooth and nail to make sure your family's taken care of, that you have the food on the table for your everyday needs, much less the holidays, to make sure you keep the lights on, elected politicians are exploding their net worth into the millions with secrets that you and I are not privy to. We need to get our backbone back and speak up. It's time to let your voice be heard. And that's what I'm doing here today. For far too long, men in America have been attacked and feminized. The strong men in America, the men who showed up, who put on a uniform, who served our country in the armed forces, who served our communities as first responders, and labeled toxic when our strength is not merely in our presence or what we can provide or produce, but in the way we lead. And if you're a man today and you believe that faith makes you weak, I'm here to tell you faith does not make you weak. It makes you unbeatable. And if faith is not the foundation of how you lead your home or how you lead yourself, you will face an ultimate demise. This is a call to action for every American man, for every American woman. In May of 26, I have a brand new book releasing, Bulletproof Family, co-authored with my dear friend, Lieutenant Colonel Dave Grossman. I hope you'll check it out. I hope that you will get a pre-order a copy as soon as they're available. I think they're available on Amazon now. But the call to Bulletproof Family is the same thing. To do something, to let your voice be heard, to lead our families. They are the backbone of America. We have to take our children's hearts and minds back from the indoctrination that many have endured through some of our public school systems, through colleges and universities across the country, through liberal media. The rot that is some social media. There was a recent study released that showed that the watching continuous hours of short form video is like brain rot. It's destroying our ability to think. And you add on top of that what AI is doing to people who have been somewhat lazy. They're using it to create things instead of creating it on their own. There is a demise in the quality of our culture going forward. It's time to get our backbone back. It's time to stand up and let your voice be heard. Don't be intimidated by the left or by anybody else. Don't be intimidated by people who issue threats and who bark loud because someone has given them a big microphone to bark into. The book of Revelation says that cowards will not inherit the kingdom of God. And I want to encourage you today that if you are afraid of standing up, if you're afraid of leading your family, if you're afraid of walking out your faith in the marketplace, that you would find courage today. Courage in the one who carried a cross to a hill called Calvary, who shed his blood, not just for Americans, but for every single person that who would believe in him would find everlasting life. Doesn't mean you're going to be perfect. By absolutely no means doesn't mean you're going to be perfect. My challenge to you right now, will you stand up and be counted? Number one. Number two, who will you serve? Now, I've talked about two things today that we're told and taught from an early age that you don't talk about: religion and politics. And I will argue that that is why we're in the situation we're in today. I'm recording this on Monday, November 24th. In just a few days, millions of families will sit around their tables and gather for a day of Thanksgiving. And some won't speak to each other across the table because of political disagreements. It is possible. It is possible to let your opinion and your beliefs be known and to still love one another, even if you disagree. But you will never be able to defeat evil ideologies with logic. Evil ideologies can only be defeated with love and truth. Will you stand up and be counted? Stop being silent because of fear, because of intimidation. Every single challenge that we face in our country today, we can overcome. But if we do not, we will be conquered. We're not just being infiltrated. They are here to conquer. And it's time that someone stand up and let their voice be heard. It's time that we stand up collectively as followers of Christ, not as Southern Baptists, not as Assemblies of God, not as Pentecostals, not as Methodists, not as Lutherans, but as followers of Jesus, and let his name be the banner that flies above us as we live in a way that honors the lives of men and women who have paid the ultimate sacrifice for our beautiful flag to fly and for us to have liberties and freedoms and justice for all. But if we don't speak up, if we don't stand up, if elections are not secured, if we don't forbid illegal immigrants to vote, if we don't secure our borders, if we don't reduce wasteful spending, if we don't balance the government budget, our economy will collapse. It's just a matter of time. There are challenges ahead. There are dark days ahead. But the good news is Hope is here, and his name is Jesus, and he never fails. My name is Adam Davis, and thank you so much for watching episode 1 of season 2 of The Adam Davis Show. Look forward to interviewing some fantastic guests coming up very soon. Be sure, if you're watching this on YouTube, be sure to hit subscribe and turn on notifications. That helps me tremendously in what I'm trying to do in getting the word out. I'm going to share so much more with you down the road, and I can't wait for you to see who these guests are. Share this with a friend, share it with a colleague, get the word out. I appreciate you watching. Thank you so much. I hope that you have a great Thanksgiving. Tell somebody what they mean to you. Tell them you love them. Tell them what you're thankful for in them. Life is short. Live it to the absolute fullest and let love lead the way. Thank you for watching. God bless.